Hey guys, this is MIKKO from MO Sound Lab, and today we'll be looking at how MIKKO changes the game in the DAW. Let's check it out. So, here we are in Cubase, and this is kind of a modern rock mix that I have going on. I'll play it back for you so you'll hear what we're working with. So as you can hear, there are a lot of layers for the guitars, and let me just show you what they are. So the guitars consist of rhythm guitar, octave guitar, and a lead guitar. And the rhythm guitar is kind of this riffy bit that I'll show you here. The octave guitars are just playing octaves, as the name suggests. And the lead guitar is playing leads. So when you blend these three together, what you get is So what we have going on with MIKKO is just one microphone on the Mega 4x12 old, and that's just 157, and all these different guitars are going through the same exact mic up. This is very close to how you would run things normally, because you track the guitars and you mic the cabinet up once and use that same mic up. Maybe you'll EQ it differently. Now with MIKKO, the way it changes the game is that you can essentially post EQ all of these guitars with MIKKO to fit each other in an interesting way, meaning that, for example, when we just listen to the guitars, you don't really separate the different parts of the guitar. You just hear a mush of guitar and it all sounds awesome. But instead of using EQ to notch out certain frequencies and make different parts come out, it's much cooler and better to mic things up differently for each section, so they sound fully natural and not filtered, but they will cut through. The main problem we have is that we want those octaves and the rhythm guitars to sound drastically different. So what we can do is separate the rhythm guitar first and come up with kind of a rhythm type sound. So I'm thinking we'll go full on Mega with this one, maybe the Mega old, kind of a similar sound that we had already. Let's add another mic and I'll show you a cool trick. Okay, so now we have these two mics and they sound drastically different, hopefully, even though they're on the same cabinet. So okay, so now a cool trick is that even though these are kind of the same sound but a little bit different, I'll pan the other microphone completely to the right, and then I'll pan this other microphone completely to the left. So even though we have the same sound going on, we can now mic up the left guitar with a different mic and the right one with a different mic. You can even place them on different cabinets. Obviously, if you think about this in real life, it would be really complicated, and miking things up to make it work in the mix would be impossible to do afterwards. So now what we have is okay, so what I did there was I balanced kind of the brightness of both sides. So now we have different mics on the right and left side, and they are equally balanced in brightness, approximately by ear. But anyways, even now that you hear these two guitars, you can separate them much better because the sound is not exactly the same. It kind of makes them wider, it's not so mono anymore. So we're already making progress, but let's take a look at the octave guitars and see what we can do with those. So these octaves would be really cool to kind of have somewhere in the mid frequencies, because we kind of went for that mega sound that is kind of scooped a little bit. So if we use something like a GB, a Mars GB, that'll have more mids in it, and these octaves should cut through much better. So now what we can do is listen to the main rhythm guitars and find a position where we feel like we're getting a really nice cut where they don't really interfere with each other. So let's listen to both the rhythm and octave guitars and fine tune this mic position. Okay, that's already sounding really good. Now you can hear the octave guitars and the rhythm guitars separately much better. So let's do the same thing and add another microphone on the same cabinet and find another cool sound, and let's use something else completely. Okay, so now I'm gonna pan this second mic to the left and the first mic to the right, and now let's have a listen. Okay, so now I feel like I hear all four guitar takes separately much better than before. Now let's have a listen to the lead guitars and see what we can do with them to make them blend in even better. Okay, let's go for something completely different for this. So let's choose the Zilla, because we don't really need a huge low end, we need a neutral response, and that's what Zilla does. Okay, so I feel like we're getting somewhere where we hear all guitars separately at the same time better than if they were using the same exact mic up. And now, if we listen to the complete mix, this is what it sounds like. Okay, so I feel like I can now boost the volume on those octave guitars even more, so let's have a listen to that. Okay, so as you can probably hear, it's getting a lot wider now, and you can hear everything separately much better, and the mix just sounds more pro. And just imagine what we just did here, and this is a fully realistic simulation of that. Virtually every guitar take in this track has a different mic up, and how easy it was for us to place those microphones. Just imagine doing that in real life with microphones. Hell, even imagine doing that with something like a Fractal Audio Axe-Fx or a Kemper or a Helix, where you'd have to change the IR every time when you track something without knowing if it's gonna even sound good. So now that you can kinda do this in post, you can fine-tune these mic positions to places where you would never have placed them because you wouldn't have heard the final mix. So now the game has changed a lot because you can specifically mic up the guitars to fit the mix rather than make the mix work with the tracks that you have. So when I say that MIKKO is a game changer, I don't use that term lightly because, you know, doing something like this, you can't do this anywhere else. You simply can't do this with this realism anywhere else. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I hope to see you using MIKKO in all your productions, and be sure to post me some clips because I want to hear it. Subscribe to my channel, go get the free MIKKO because you can try it out for free, and see you guys later.